Okay, here I have opened LLM data analytics session file, Jupyter file in Google Colab. This file is uploaded on Canvas. Please download it and then upload that on in your Google Colab. In order to upload it, you can click on File and then you can upload Notebook. Again, you go to Google Colab website, you sign in using your Gmail and then upload the notebook. I explained about pre-reads for this session. In order to set up our Google Colab file, first we need to install the Python libraries that we will need in this session. And then we will work on configuring our API key. First, we need to install Google Generative AI. But before doing that, I want you to change your runtime. So on the top right side, click on Change Runtime Type and change CPU to GPU. GPU will be much faster. So now you can see that it's connecting to a server. Okay, now it's connected. I can run my first cell. It's installing Google Generative AI. So that's good. Next, in order to use Google's Gemini model, we will need an API key. Again, this API key is free for now. In order to get your key, click on Google AI Studio. Then here on the top right, you can click on Create API key. I have done it myself. Uh, when you create API key, you can copy it. Don't share your key with anybody. And you can see that under my plan is free tier. I have not set up any billing. I don't need to pay for that. Then when you have your API key, copy that, go back to your Google Colab, and in the Google Colab, click the key icon on the left. Here you can see that. Then here, create a new name. Name it as Google API key, as you can see here, and paste the value here. And don't share that with anybody. That's a very secure way to store your API key. Later in the here you can see that we will use that key, API key. Make sure that you save it and you give access to that key. In order to use here, we need to activate the access. Okay. Next, I'm importing libraries that we need. We will use Pandas, Seaborn, Matplotlib, Google Generative AI, and Google Colab. User data from Google Colab. Uh, these are the libraries that we will use, and then I will set up the API key. Here I will point that my API key is stored under Google API key in the secure way. Then I'm passing that to generative AI, the Google generative AI. And if it's successful, it will print API key configured successfully. If not, it will give us an error. If the API key is not valid anymore, you can go to Google AI Studio, you can delete it. In that case, it will not be successful, so you will get an error. Or you can have an API key that is the billing is activated. In that case, you can use more advanced model. Then the model is defined as generative AI model, and we are using this model, the Flash model, not the professional model. That will be I believe that's a paid version for now. So here we will use this Gemini 1.5, the Flash model. And the model, whenever I use it, the if you see my code, I'm using model. It means Google Generative AI model Gemini 1.5, the Flash version. So let's run it. Let's see if our API key is set up correctly. Yes. Next, we will load some data set. We will load one data set here using Seaborn library. I'm loading Titanic dataset, the very famous Titanic dataset, and then printing that, a preview of that dataset. Our first application is generating Python codes using LLMs. It's very simple. The workflow is basically we provide a clear prompt. Then we will ask to generate code using that prompt, and then we will review the code and then execute and verify the code. Here is one example. Uh, I define my prompt using pandas data frame named df, write Python code to count the number of survivors. And then I provided some information about the survived column in our data set, survive. Response, then we get the response from the generative AI, from the model that I defined, generate content, then I'm providing the prompt inside that. And then I will print the response.text. It's very simple. You have seen it probably using GPT or Gemini before. Okay, so now you can see the response. It gave me a few options. I can try one of these options. For example, I can try survivors df survive.sum. So let's, for example, run this code. I already have written the code here. Instead of survivors, I define that as survivor underline count. But the code is same. So let's run it. Now you can see that is giving me a correct output. In the second example, I'm asking LLM to provide codes for creating plots. Here is my prompt. You need to be very detailed about what you want, and then you get some answers using response.text. Then what you can do, you can copy one of these answers, copy this answer, and then run it here. Copy it and run. Let's run that. So then the second survival rate per passenger class is also created. And you can refine that code, ask LLM to provide another type of chart for you. So here is my new prompt. That's a great start. Now modify the previous Seaborn bar chart code to the following. I want the chart be horizontal instead of vertical. So again, it will create some proposed code for you, and then you can review that code and run it. Okay, then you can copy the code and run it in your Python environment. Now you can see that is horizontal